The Java edition of Minecraft received 3 unexpected updates this week, while the Bedrock version, which was expecting 1, got none. What is going on here is apparently according to plan. This is a Minecraft developer saying more or less that, yet despite this fact, it seems as though there is something weird going on because there hasn't been a 1.21 snapshot or preview this week, and even weirder is this brand new leak. But what is actually going on with all of these new features and timelines, and what the heck is a release candidate anyway? Well, let's explain today, because hello, I'm AviaX and welcome back to another update news video. And to answer the most important question, when can I play around with the new wolves and the armadillo? The answer seems to be next Tuesday, at least according to the brand new release candidate for 1.20.5. This is the Java equivalent of 1.20.80, and they say with this that barring any significant changes or critical issues found within it, this is the version we are planning to ship as Minecraft Java Edition 1.20.5 next week. Combine this with the fact that almost every major Minecraft release tends to come out on a Tuesday, and we have a release date of next week Tuesday, or the 23rd of April 2024, or at least an intended release date, because interestingly, although the Bedrock version of this update has been long since done and finished, Java has a bit of an advantage over Bedrock in that Bedrock updates have to go through certification on various platforms, and so they finished that update towards the start of April, whereas the Java equivalent actually can go all the way up until release, and then they can, at that point, they need to have a finished version, which means they've been spending this last week where Bedrock has been frozen in stone, fully certified, ready to go, and they've been spending this last week making sure things are ready. So, the very brief version of this would be saying like, well, if you look right here, you can see that the release candidate came out today, but this is where the other pre-releases came from, because they've been slowly fixing things in the resource pack, but also fixing bugs every single day to make for a slightly more stable release for anyone downloading this. This is interesting because generally speaking, these bugs are, squashing things that you wouldn't notice, like projectiles no longer deflecting gas fireballs. It's a bad thing and it's just bringing things back to normal, but every now and then there are some features which you could probably describe as a brand new feature. And so, for example, there is a change to the UI to bring in a new animated portal texture and a brand new end portal texture, which means that 1.20.5 has used some of this time to get a little bit ahead of its Bedrock equivalent. And if you're curious what each of those look like, well, here is an end portal and here is a nether portal. Let's go through this one first of all. Oh, that was very fast. Man, this is the problem with having a fast PC. You don't get to see the loading terrain option for very long, but that is what it looks like. As you can see, it's one of those very small improvements that is noticeable in my opinion. And then over here we have the equivalent for the end. Very, very nice also, I would say. And we can do the same going back to the overworld. It's got the end portal, or the end as a background when you're going back to the overworld. What a lovely change to the update that has been made during this bug fixing time. This is Minecraft Java Edition. Wow, perfect time to come up right there. This is Minecraft Java Edition taking full advantage of the fact that it basically gets an extra couple weeks of development time, and in that time, theoretically, Minecraft Bedrock is working on 1.21, the next full update, except interestingly, there is something about that we'll have to come back to near the end, but this is why Minecraft Java is going to have a couple extra features in 1.20.5, because it's had a couple extra weeks of development, and, we could talk about all sorts of other interesting things to do with how Java and Bedrock are developed, kind of to the same standard, but never quite perfectly, almost always in Java's favor, but that's I think that's a point for a different time. You've got to admit, lush caves look beautiful at night. They're just so enticing. Being able to spend the night somewhere warm, somewhere light, honestly, something I appreciate. But yeah, anyway, the point here is to say that I want to come back to 1.21 and where it's going, because it didn't have a Bedrock beta or a Minecraft Java snapshot this week, because both teams have not released anything. And so instead I figured it'd be interesting to take a look at something else which happened this week, because fun fact, Minecraft is turning 15 years old next month, at least if you measure from the development release that came on the TigSource forum all the way back then in the pre-beta, pre-alpha, pre-classic, pre-everything days. But the 17th of May 2009 is the official release date that Minecraft uses, and so it is turning 15 next month, and they've hinted they're doing something special for its birthday, and we kind of guessed that this might mean the Armadillo and Wolf update would be coming out then, but as we know, that is planned for next week, which is very much a whole month early. And so what is coming for the 15-year anniversary? Just a warning, there are going to be some spoilers here, so if anyone is curious and doesn't want to see leaks, just skip ahead to the next section of the video. We'll try to keep this short and to the point, but basically, Minecraft's 15-year anniversary anniversary looks like it will have a map. This was leaked by another Bedrock YouTuber, it's me James, and I'll only show you a few clips of it here, but the amount of work and effort put into this seems to imply that it's legit, and given that this is what they did for the 10-year anniversary, it does seem like the most likely outcome that for the 15-year anniversary, they're going to be releasing a brand new cape, something else that's been leaked, as well as a brand new map, and that will allow people to have something to commemorate being here when the game was 15 years old, and I think that that is a thing that will definitely spark a lot of curiosity, have a really great map that people can enjoy in the moment, while also having something that they can have as an almost souvenir to remind other people that they were here at a time the game was, kind of young in relation to where it might be in the future. I think Minecraft has a great and long history, and so this is a fun little part of that. But yeah, that is the end of spoiler territory. I just figured I'd share this because a lot of people are sending it my way. I think it's cool, but I also struggle with the idea that someone breached an NDA to share this. Someone was definitely not meant to have access to this, but had access and shared it anyway, and they probably did that to try and be cool. But at the same time, this is not really ideal, because even though it sounds like I'm going to defend a giant company here, someone at the company put their trust in someone, made them sign an agreement which they agreed to, and then that person wrote the agreement. They made that person look bad. I think it's in general bad news to breach an NDA, whereas I think it's more fair to, for example, share something that was data mined by Smokey Stack and found in the latest Bedrock preview, is the fact that there are some new credits which aren't publicly visible in the game yet, but which are in the code, and therefore an engineering director on an internal new game. If you don't know, Minecraft Dungeons and Minecraft Legends both feature in the regular Minecraft credits, and so the brand new game is also going to have their engineering director there. But yeah, they have confirmed there is an internal new game, which is getting close enough that they're having to start working out how they're going to integrate them into the regular game credits, which is absolutely wild, if you ask me. Speaking of absolutely wild, if you ask me, I've got one last question that I wanted to ask and answer today, and that is 1.21 actually on track? As you might know, 1.20.80 was kind of theorized to be most likely coming out this Tuesday. This isn't just the guess from me and from a lot of the community, but it is from many other people who have been looking at previous updates. They have given it a little bit more time, perhaps because it is a bigger update, but it still begs a big question, which is if it takes about 3 weeks between a bigger update, the end of its preview process, and actually getting out there, either because of the Java edition having to go through a similar process, or just because they want to be absolutely sure that it certifies. We can't be sure the actual reason the Bedrock is delayed, but we know that there is a dead period of about 2 to 3 weeks after they finish the content. That means to release an update in June, or let's say June the 8th, because that's the one the last couple updates have released on, that means they'd actually need to finish that somewhere in mid-May. They need to finish it before the 15-year anniversary, which means we probably have about 3 or 4 weeks worth of previews to come out. And keep in mind, that's not just like, okay, they need to finish adding the last few features from Java to Bedrock and maybe even add any of the other changes, such as new music or a new music disc or whatever else may be coming, but they have to do those things, but also they need to bug fix it as rigorously as Minecraft Java would like to bug fix their updates. Each of the pre-releases which came out this week, and indeed the release candidate 2, have fixed bugs, and this is something Minecraft Bedrock has to do not on a day-to-day basis, but on a week-to-week basis. So there are now 3 to 4 releases, or preview releases, which Minecraft Bedrock has to get right for it to be able to be ready in time to release for early June. Are they actually going to be able to do it on time is something that seems like it is a very tall order, but at the same time, I would go back to this tweet from Slice Slime that I showed you at the very beginning of the video, where he actually says that he has no idea why the Bedrock version would need to be delayed for the Java version, because they'd always been planning on releasing it an extra week later. That has been their release date since the start, and I imagine that Minecraft 1.21 has a release date more or less planned, which they've been planning everything else around. It is no secret to Mojang that the Bedrock version needs to be done with its previews some number of weeks before the Java version does, and so they know precisely how many weeks they have to get this done, and if they have a release date in mind, which we are almost certain they do, then they know exactly when that needs to get done by, and so whether this is going to happen is something that we can't answer ourselves, but we'll get some very good clues in with the next few betas and previews. The reason that that is true is because people like me and you can get a glance at what they're doing and see if they're getting closer towards that timeline or not. It is something I am very curious to see, and it's something that will be coming out publicly. I also do think that there is a chance that they are still working on the Bedrock previews. It's not that they take a week off while Java's releasing 1.20.5, it's just that obviously the next big release, the next big publicity event is going to be the Wolves and Armadillo, and so they want to make sure that the community is focused on that, and that is why all of these pre-releases come out, and this release candidate's coming out, and that is why next Tuesday Wednesday, I'm sure you'll see some fun stuff from Mojang, because the next update is almost here, and it's something I'm incredibly excited for. I have big plans for my Let's Play world, and I also want to do a speedrun collecting all of the wolves. You better believe that's happening as soon as the update is out on the Bedrock version of the game. And finally, you might be curious as to what I'm doing here right now, because I had a trip planned to the Middle East, but instead, I actually was due to fly to Jordan on Sunday, and something happened which led to me being stranded in Sweden instead, which is why I have this clip to end the video.
Oh, and while you're here, by the way, don't forget to ring that bell. I can't actually punch this, so it'll break. I'll get in trouble.
I'll talk about the rest of what happened with my flight diversions and my time in Latvia on Q&A Saturday this week, and I hope that you're looking forward to that, because this is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.